Hey, all, Scott Brauer, Ice Team Clam Corp Pro. I want to give you a couple tips about fishing plastic today. Plastics, although they come out of the package and they're ready to fish for the most part, it's a great way to fish them coming right out of the package. But I want to show you today what we do sometimes as the fish are teaching us lessons. So today I'm on my test tank. I'm playing around a little bit with the fish, and they're not going. Mostly because they're probably disinterested because they've been caught a few times out of the tank. But when that happens and they're down below you and they're not hitting, I want to show you how we can make some changes real quick to a bait and kind of think of them as convertible little plastics for yourself to be able to make a change. So let me pull this up real quick. I'm going to take this bait off first. And let's say we were on a minnow bite and we knew that the fish were going to eat part of a piece of a minnow. What I'm going to do is take this, and this is one of our TOIs. I'm just going to split it right down through the tail, and I'm not going to make it look real pretty. Now I could cut it with my knife and make it pretty and make it a twin tail, or I can just rip a couple pieces off and I can make it a little bit uglier, and I can leave some stuff hanging. What we're kind of trying to go after is a look of a minnow that's maybe something's come through and it's bitted up. So we're going to leave stuff just hanging off it, and it's going to flop differently and look like a maggot that's been tore apart, or look like a minnow. Let me show you another one. Here's a bait. This one's called the stony. This one I can fish just as it is as a stonefly nymph, or we can break it in a couple places. If I snap it here, it's a great twin tail. Big bluegills like to look at two tails as they're coming through. If I snap it here and fish it backwards or on a drop shot, it looks just like a fly. So if you want to fish it as a fly, you can do that. If you want to pinch just the head off, then it becomes a little freshwater shrimp. So as you're making adjustments to your baits, don't be afraid to try some different things. Here's another one. This is a millie. You can fish it as a millipede. It's just got a bunch of different things. But a lot of times, too, what I like to do is just break a little piece off. And let me grab that jig again real quick. I'm going to show you the way I curl it up on the tail. I'll take it and I'll roll the whole thing over and make it look like a shrimp. As the shrimp are starting to either swim away from the decaying weeds, or they're starting to move from weed to weed to find a more lively one, they curl up like a scud. And so you can tip this thing like that and make a little scud just by doing a little bit of homework. And then last but not least, let me just talk quickly about, a lot of times when we look at these tail baits, and it doesn't matter what tail bait it is that you're using, if you look at these tail baits, most people would put the bigger part through the hook section. Don't be afraid to hook them backwards. This one, and this is our poly, if you hook through the center a couple times and just leave that ball hanging out, it's a high loss percentage, but what it does is it puts a completely different action on the bait, and I guess that's my point. As we're out there and things aren't working, don't be afraid to try something completely different that's kind of out of the ordinary, and sometimes that's just going to make the difference when you're out there catching fish or not catching fish, and it's going to turn around your day. See you out there.